All right, back here on the national front. Just days after threatening massive new attacks on Iran's civilian infrastructure, President Trump says new peace talks will start today. Chris Pollone has the very latest from Washington.
Will these new negotiations finally end the war that has now lasted more than 5 months, or is this once again a case of history repeating?
President Trump says negotiations between the U.S. and Iran to end the war resumed today. The announcement comes just 2 days after he threatened massive new strikes against Iran's civilian infrastructure.
We'll be hitting them. We'll be hitting them very hard. And, at some point they're going to say, we just can't take it anymore.
But the president said Sunday U.S. allies in the Middle East, fearing more Iranian attacks against them, asked the U.S. to hold off.
But when the allies asked to call it off, we got to sort of say, well, let's see. And the reason they asked is I think there's a deal.
The back-channel diplomacy worked really hard to convince President Trump to give a chance for diplomacy again.
The president said the U.S. was poised to conduct its largest military strike since World War II. Hours earlier, U.S. embassies recommended Americans consider leaving the region. Since the war began in February, this is at least the 4th time President Trump has threatened to escalate attacks on Iran before calling them off. Democrats skeptical that anything has changed.
He's trying to get us back to February, and I think if he could, if he had a big reset button he could hit, he would certainly take that option.
We're ready to go anytime we want. Would I rather make a deal? I'm not looking to kill people. People die, a lot of people die. We don't want that.
The president says there's no deadline for negotiators to reach an agreement.
And despite what the president said, a spokesperson for Iran's foreign ministry said this morning no talks are currently taking place with the United States, and said earlier the regime will not back down in the face of threats.